My name is Wade Chappell with Chappell Construction Group. I'd like to welcome you to the site of the 2012 Southern Living Showcase Home at the Bluffs in Cedar Bluff, Alabama, overlooking Weiss Lake, a 30,000-acre lake in northeast Alabama. When I was selected to build this showcase home, the parameters that were set before me in the planning phase was to create a home in a rural setting with rural historic features that maximize quality of life while still minimizing the impact on the overall environment and maximizing the views of the lake. And one of the initial phases we went through was selecting the correct site or an appropriate site, which was a real challenge in a community like the Bluffs, where every lot has panoramic views, some cases 270-degree views of the lake, in that it's a peninsula with terraced ridge lines that has just a plethora of lots with views on them. And we selected this particular ridge once the house plan was developed, in that the house is a much longer plan and narrower plan than traditional homes that are designed today. In the initial planning phase of this house, we worked with Lew Oliver of Lew Oliver Whole Town Solutions, and Lew did a wonderful job of designing a home that utilized the panoramic view of this particular lot, but not just the views, but also the orientation to the south and the utilization of the winds off of the lake in order to naturally cool the open air porches and the breezeway. The overall design of the house fit the lot more than the lot fitting the house, which is an important aspect of the planning phase in the design of the overall home. We entered into the pre-planning stages of this project. We engaged Lew Oliver of Lew Oliver Whole Town Solutions out of Atlanta. And Lew did a wonderful job of designing a house to the lot rather than the other way around. In addition to the house placement and the house design, Lew incorporated a lot of the details that he's known for with the chamfered columns, the mortise and tenon trusses, maximizing outdoor space, and overall maximizing the quality of living while minimizing the impact on the surrounding environment. Just from where I stand here, I can point to the use of reclaimed brick, the stone behind me that was harvested from the hills of the community, to the use of reclaimed wood materials, and a multitude of energy efficient and economically efficient appliances, light fixtures. Overall, our intent and goal of building and designing a home that was efficient, not just for the surrounding environment, but also for the wallet. When we sat down to determine which products were going to go into this home, designed by Lew Oliver, and as we do with all of our projects at Chappell Construction Group, we look at 4 main attributes of each product, and which would be the initial cost, the ongoing cost or the efficiency of the product, the durability, and also very importantly the aesthetics of the product. When building a home, the most important piece of when considering efficiency of the home is the building envelope. And here we used a durable product of artisan siding made by Hardy Plank, which carries a 50-year lifetime or 50-year warranty. We use gelled-in windows and doors with high-efficiency low-E glass and extremely efficient weather sealants around the house. We had 10.5-inch thick walls with foam insulation and cellulose insulation. Back to the individual products used in the construction of the home, we had considered 4 primary attributes of each product and the combination of those in order to determine the practicality or the overall value of each product. And those are, the cost effectiveness, which is the, initial cost, as well as the ongoing cost or the efficiency of the product, the aesthetic value of it, how attractive it was, both now and, ongoing, the durability of it, how long is the product going to last, and in a lot of cases also the usability, which would be the fourth main consideration we had in selecting the individual products for the house. Let's walk around and take a look at some of them individually, and I can walk you through some of the factors that we considered in the overall selection of the products. So I'm standing in the entrance of the 2012 Southern Living Showcase home at the Bluffs, and as you can see, this is not a conventional entrance to a home, and consistent with what I'd mentioned earlier about this being a rural design and a rural setting. I'm standing in what we call the dog trot, which is essentially a breezeway between two of the primary living spaces over here, being the recreation wing with the guest bedroom and bunkhouses for the children, and the main living quarters over here to your left with the main living room, kitchen, scullery, and master suite. The breezeway was incorporated into the design, or dog trot was incorporated into the design in order to naturally cool some of the outdoor spaces. The outdoor dining, which is behind me, as well as the loggia around the corner and the back porch. But not just naturally cool the outdoor living space, but also the indoor, in that it encourages natural airflow between the buildings, and as well as making it more enjoyable to sit outside. It helps make the home itself more efficient. And back to this being more of a rural design, we tried to select a product for the exterior cladding that was consistent with what you might see in an old farmhouse. And you can see this is an example of the artisan clapboard siding, which is it's made by Hardy Plank. So you get the durability of a cementatious product made by Hardy Plank, but the aesthetics of a true 3/4 inch reveal with the outdoor or the outside corners mitered in order for it to look like a true 3/4 inch thick wood siding you might see in a 19th century farmhouse. When considering the efficiency of the exterior building envelope of a house, the most important factor to look at is the windows and doors, which is traditionally the weakest point of a wall system, and certainly in our case, where you can see the 11.5 inch thick walls that are foam filled as well as conventionally insulated. But we selected JELD-WEN windows and doors not just for the efficiency, but also for some of the attributes or options that we had available between a casement window and a traditional double hung window. And one of the neat things about these particular casements is the ability just to push them out rather than crank them out like you would see in most cases with casement windows. This one also has a retractable screen that is obviously very easy to pull down as well as retract. And the benefit to that is you don't have to live with a screen at all times, which blocks light and is aesthetically just not pleasing for most cases. But even the double hung windows have a wonderful seal around the windows, which makes them more efficient and makes the overall house more efficient. One of the unique features about this home is one that you wouldn't necessarily notice without it being pointed out, and that is the sound of an outdoor air conditioning unit, the drone that would typically drown out the natural sounds of our surroundings, whereas here we have utilized a ground source heat exchange system in order to heat and cool both the guest cottage as well as the main house, otherwise known as geothermal heating and air conditioning, where we have drilled vertical wells into the ground and actually use ground temperature to pull the air or the heat out of the air in the summer and for the cooling, and then just the opposite in the wintertime, where we take the cold air that's inside the house and use a loop system through the earth in order to heat and cool the buildings, which is a much more efficient system than the traditional outdoor units that use the fans and coils It sounds better both on paper and out here, on the outside of the house. While it is a more expensive system to install, the system itself is so much more efficient that the rate of return on it is within 5 to 7 years of the initial investment. So again, we've utilized those 4 attributes that we initially discussed in determining whether or not geothermal is a good fit for this project, and the long-term cost value more than outweighed the short-term investment. So it made perfect sense, and especially in an atmosphere where the outdoor living is as much or more important than the indoor living, to utilize such a technology which is actually simpler than one of the conventional systems.